The true consequence is also being visible in the faces of the men, women, and children fleeing for their lives. ABC News senior investigative reporter Aaron Katersky has the latest on the ongoing refugee crisis.
Hundreds of thousands of people are rushing to flee Ukraine, pouring into train stations, pushing against checkpoints, and waiting hours. ABC's Matt Gutman spoke to some families who made the long journey to Poland.
How long have you been driving? It was 24 hours just in this line here.
Yeah.
An American Juan Tek and his Ukrainian wife Alonia traveling roughly 30 hours from Kyiv to the Polish border.
And I want to say I want to come back, but I don't know if we're going to come back.
With so many struggling to escape, humanitarian organizations like Project Dynamo are trying to help.
They start a war, we start a rescue. Some of our people were afraid to travel. They didn't want to go on the street. They didn't know what was happening. Some of them didn't think that we'd get a bus. You know, they're shelling, therefore buses won't drive.
Many of the displaced are seeking shelter in train stations like this one in Poland, bringing only needed documents and the luggage they can carry. And these images show the traffic stretching roughly 4 miles near the Romanian border. At the border with Slovakia, fathers saying their goodbyes to wives and families. For those left behind, there are growing fears of the Russian advance. Here in Lviv, we saw desperate attempts to hold back the invading army.
The men in this country cannot leave. They've been conscripted into the fight, and without advanced weapons, they're doing what they can to protect their neighborhoods. They're filling sandbags, they've got tires, this makeshift checkpoint. They're also filling bottles with gasoline for Molotov cocktails.
As neighborhoods empty out, families torn apart make whatever plans they can to try to survive. Many mothers have been left alone to care for their children as they wait in the cold for border guards to let them through.
It's got to be very scary for a mom. You seem very composed, very okay.
No, it's not okay.
You're not feeling it.
It's for kids.
It's for the kids.
And Aaron joins us live now from Lviv. Aaron, I want to ask you about those refugees, but also I know that you're not far away from some of the fighting that's taking place really all across the country. So what's the latest where you are now?
Well, here in Lviv, another long, restless night in the dark and the uncertainty that comes with it. To our east in Kyiv has really been the focal point of the Russian offensive. They're also fighting in Kharkiv to the east and Odessa in the south, and they've made some gains in the south. The Russians have been able to restore a key water link for Crimea, which they annexed 8 years ago. The resistance in Kharkiv is happening, but it's been a scene of heavy fighting, heavy shelling. Kyiv is where the Ukrainian military seems to have its best shot at defending the country and the capital. And President Zelensky has once again appeared via social media to rally his troops and to say that they are going to fight to the end. And he's also thanking Western powers for help, because as the Ukrainian military can hold out, they've got $350 billion worth of American military aid, including Stinger missiles, to shoot down Russian aircraft coming their way as soon as it can get here. But as night falls, this is when the most tense hours begin. Even here in Lviv, we were out today, and the atmosphere, Diane, was a lot more on edge. People spending more time in basements and bomb shelters. We were down in one that was almost a medieval dungeon-type place that's now kind of has a musty smell, and it's lined with folding chairs, a water tank, even some heaters if it gets cold. And this, at a moment's notice, is where people here could spend hours.
And Aaron, President Zelensky now says that Western countries have agreed to disconnect Russia from the SWIFT banking system. What does this mean for Russia? How significant is that move?
Well, it does cut them off from a means of transacting big business and large amounts of money, say for oil and gas purchases. Even ordinary citizens using their credit card can get hooked into this system. It's not without risk for the West, but it is what the Ukrainians believe is sort of the mother of all sanctions. President Biden has said it's a good step, but what the U.S. and its allies have done in addition maybe even more significant for the Russians, cutting them off from access to Western finance, going after the oligarchs individually so that they no longer can benefit from their association with the Kremlin and President Putin, to try and pressure the government from within. And the United States believes some of that may be working in concert with all of the Ukrainian defenses. It's slowing down the Russian advance. The U.S. believes that Russia was caught off guard both by the military resistance here, but also by the determination and unity of the international community. Russia may have been counting on some holes and some countries folding and not going full throttle with sanctions. So far, that hasn't happened.
Aaron, what kind of aid is making its way into Ukraine right now?
Well, it's hard to say for sure whether it's military or humanitarian. The only place aid can really come in is through one of the NATO countries. Those same borders where you see, the displaced going out, those are the places where aid can come in, and that is an arduous journey through roads that sometimes can be treacherous and that are under threat from Russian military above. The United States is probably not going to be driving its own military aid into this country. They may do it through Poland or through another ally, but they want it to get here and soon.
All right. So Aaron Katersky is in Lviv, just west of Kyiv. Aaron, we're going to be checking in with you again throughout the night. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.